Hey YouTube, this is Jaden coming at you with another video for from Team Shadow Strike. First off, I want to say thank you to the few new subscribers that I've gotten as of last weekend. Remember to keep subscribing so we can get to that 50 subscriber mark so we can have that contest that I've promised you guys. Now, as you guys are aware, on the 19th, a few days ago, which was last Friday, if the calendar up here is correct, was the release of the Aqua Force trial deck 7 Clash of the Marine Emperors. And I posted Saturday while I was at my locals a review of the trial deck, and I saw that got really good, a good number of views, so I really appreciate that. I'm glad that worked out. But there was something I also was thinking about, and I realize Aqua Force is probably going to be a popular clan, but there's also people who just can't spend as much as others can on the deck. So I thought I would show you guys a budget build of Aqua Force. Now, of course, set 8 is not out yet, so I will tell you a couple things that will change that will still be within budget for this deck. This so far is I've only gotten 3 of the trial decks myself because that's all I'm gonna need, because I will be building the full deck, but I do realize not everyone is going to be able to do that, so I wanted to show a budget build. But I will tell you what I would change if I was going to play this deck as a budget deck. So if there's anyone interested in it, they'll at least have an idea of, you know, what they could do to make the deck better. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into this deck profile. Now, the grade zeros are going to be obvious because we don't have any other choice. As with most trial decks when when it comes out, because we get 4 of each. Now, the starter that we get is Officer Cadet of the First Battle. It is a beautiful art, I'll give it that. I would still look for a Officer Cadet Eric once it comes out in set 8. It's a common card. Well, I think it's actually going to be a rare. It's either going to be a rare or a common, but I would definitely get yourself one of those so you at least have a Vanguard that can slide around. And there's also going to be Draco Kid, which is another 0, where if he swings and it's the 3rd attack, he goes up by 3,000 points. But I would recommend Eric. And then 4 critical triggers. Now, I am still going to play 4 criticals in my Aqua Force build, my complete one, because I already have my build pretty much wrapped out in my head. Excuse me. And I'm going to still play 4. I can't remember in the set if we're going to get... I know we get another set of stand triggers, which is the main thing, but I think we also might get another set of critical triggers. If that's the case, then I will play 2 of this critical trigger and 2 of the other critical trigger, just to make my opponent think I do play 8 criticals, which I want him to think, which would, in my opinion, wouldn't be really using Aqua Force the way they're supposed to be played, but I would still play 4 crit. Now, the big thing is stand triggers. Stand triggers is the most important thing to Aqua Force, so you got the 4 stand triggers, Dolphin Soldier, that came in the trial deck. These will be in my main deck, so these are set in stone, obviously, as they should be in every Aqua Force deck. These 4, which are the draw triggers, is really just filler, so if I wanted to play this deck with somebody for fun, the thing is, I will be playing a grand total of 8 stand triggers in my Aqua Force. And I might actually eventually go up even higher than that, because stand triggers and Aqua Force is what makes the deck so good. So these 4 little Sea Otter, you know, yeah, it's a cute art, but they will become the 2nd stand trigger that is released in Blue Storm Armada on May 3rd. And the 2nd stand trigger, if I'm correct, it's called Seagull Soldier. And then one thing Bushiroad did is, if you wanted to play Aqua Force, whether you were going to do budget or you were going to do the top one, which will be the Maelstrom build, you had to buy at least 1 trial deck so you could get yourself a set of the heal trigger. So And of course, I don't know if this is going to interest anybody. I have tons of other comments that came from the other 3 trial decks. Like I have pretty much 2 more sets of this, which is the grade zeros. So if you ever do any trading with me and you want a set of the triggers for an Aqua Force deck that you might want to build, then I have those. So just tossing that out there. Grade 1s. Of course, like in most decks, we're going to play our 4 8K beaters, our Tier Knight Theo for this one. This will probably be a permanent in my Aqua Force deck too, because 8K boosters are just so fun. I would play at minimum 3, because 8K boosters are good. Probably one of my favorite arts in the game is Tier Knight Cypress. I will not be playing 4 in my finished version of Aqua Force, but I will for sure play 1 just because I love the art. I do think in Vanguard you should be able to play at least a couple, maybe 1 to 2 cards in your deck that you play just because you like the art or you like the card, or I don't know, there's just something about it that when you look at it, I don't know. You know what I'm saying. But Cypress, if you were going to play a budget build, would be a good starter. If you were going, would be a good 7K booster, not starter. But I will definitely play 1 in my version. Nope, sorry about that, guys. Next, in my opinion, the easiest 10K boost in the game, Dorothea. Or Dorothea? Yeah, Dorothea. If she boosts the Vanguard and it's the 3rd attack of the turn, she boosts for 10. That's a piece of cake. So if it's the 3rd battle or more, she always boosts for 10. I will probably be playing 3 in my deck to ensure I see it. So if you were going to play a budget build, I would recommend 3 as well. I think 4 is overdoing it, but 3 is just right. Next, we play 3 Cynthia. This is the Flame of Hope Airmo card. If it boosts and if the attack is successful on a Vanguard or Rearguard, you get to drop and draw. I will not be playing any of this in my finished build, but it is a good card for budget decks. And then because I didn't have any, I needed another card, I just threw in 1 accelerated command. If it goes on the Rearguard, you choose an Aqua Force unit and it gains 2 for the turn. Grade 2s. 3 Marine General of Restless Tides Algos. If you were going to play this as a budget deck, you would need in total 4 trial decks because you only get 1 of this card. And I would recommend you to play 4 because he is a really good card. In a budget deck like this one, I would definitely play him. I don't know. I might try him out for my deck. I know for sure I will be playing 4 Valeria and 4 Basil, because those are 2 of the main grade 2s, and then I'm going to play a couple of Lazarus, and then I might fit 1 or 2 of these in. I don't know. This is just it's just a thought. His ability is if he attacks and it's the 4th attack or higher for the turn, and he swings and hits the Vanguard, you get to draw a card. Now, what's really cool, because you ask, well, how is he going to attack on the 4th attack? Well, the trick is you attack with your Vanguard on the 3rd attack, and you hit a stand trigger, and you restand him. So, and then you give him the 5,000 point boost for pushing him to 14, and then hopefully he can get through. But he is a good card. You definitely would want to play 4 in a budget deck. And then we got our 4 10Ks, our Tier Knight Lazarus. Every clan has their 10K beater, and but it's a good card. And then since this is a budget deck, so when I do budget decks, I hope I'm not insulting anybody here. I am assuming that you're not going to spend the money to get perfect guards. So in that case, you have to play the next best thing, which is your 10K interceptors, which is Titan of the Infinite Trench. So now, I mean, I know sometimes when people play budget decks, they can only afford like 1 or 2 perfect guards, and that's good. But I'm assuming that you're not going to spend money on perfect guards because you just want a deck that you can play that will still be a pretty decent deck to play with, and it's cost efficient, which is how I constructed this deck. And I would now remember I told you would play 4 of these. If I had it, I would put in a 4th one of these and take out 1 of these. So, to clarify that, but like I said, you would want to get 4 trial decks if you wanted to build this as the best budget build as you possibly could. Because I only have bought 3, I play 3 Naval Gazer, which is the main card of the trial deck. He is the boss of the trial deck, and he's going to be a good backup Vanguard, I think, for Maelstrom. And then the other 4 that I play is the Doorbid, which is just the Counterblast 1, and he gains 3. I do not like Xenophon or the grade 3 that comes in it. I do not like that card. That's just me. This is just my version of a budget. Now, if I had a 4th Naval Gazer, I would drop one of these 4 and play a 4th Naval Gazer for sure. Now, just for argument's sake, I'm going to read Naval Gazer so you know what it does. Excuse me, guys. Okay, Limit Break, which obviously you need 4 damage for. Until the end of turn, this unit gets plus... Oh, I'm sorry. Let me start over here, guys. You have to Counterblast 2 in the main phase. It's an activate ability. Counterblast 2. Until end of turn, this unit gets plus 3,000 power and auto Vanguard ability. When this unit's attack hits a Vanguard, and if it's the 3rd battle of that turn or more, choose up to 2 of your Aqua Force rear guards and stand them, which is really good. And then he has an auto ability where every time whenever he attacks the Vanguard and it's the 3rd attack or more, he goes up by 3,000. So if he attacks the Vanguard on the 3rd attack or more and you activate his Limit Break, he can hit for 16. And then the trick is... You swing with him on the 3rd attack or more, and he goes for 16, and you boost him with Dorethia. And since she's boosting on the 3rd attack or more, she boosts for 10. That gives you a grand total of 26,000 power shooting at your opponent. That's a really good number for, for a budget deck. And his ability is, really good. Not as good as Maelstrom's, but he is definitely good in my opinion. So... But anyway, guys, like I said, this is just a budget version of Aqua Force. I have not playtested this deck because I constructed it after my locals. I probably should have built it at my locals and tried it for you guys, so I apologize there. But I will probably do a few games just to see how this works before Set 8 is released this Sunday at my locals. We're having the Set 8 pre-release, and which I'm really looking forward to because I've been waiting for the Aqua Force clan forever. But I'm probably going to play a few games with this Saturday just to see how it works, and then I'll post a note on the front homepage of the channel so you guys can know what I did, and I'll put who I faced and blah blah blah. But I hope you like this. Again, this video was mainly just to give a budget build of the Aqua Force deck because I do know it'll be a popular clan more than likely. So I just wanted to kind of show this to you guys so you can have an idea of a good budget version of this to be played at. And I told you the cards that you would definitely need. Like I said, you'd want to get a different starter, most likely Eric. You'd want to drop the 4 draws for the extra set of stands that come out in Set 8. You would want a 4th Algos. And then for the Algos, you would drop one of your perfect intercepts or special intercepts. And then for your grade 3s, you would drop one of the door bids for an extra Naval Gazer. So anyway, I hope this was informative. I hope you enjoyed it. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.